10 o'clock talks.
This is 10 o'clock talks.
This is going to be a great episode.
Join us.
Check that out. What an intro, huh? I'm Michael Anthony, and this is Kimberly from, guess what? Klacic Adventures is in the house. We have a young lady here who is like, put her life in the paranormal. And everything paranormal, it does tie in together. You have to be open-minded that way. Kimberly's going to try to be here once a month with us to help all the newbies get into the scenario of what you need on a low budget to have some fun with, but never let it mistake fun for the seriousness of paranormal. Never. Mm-hmm. And we will share stories as we go forth as to why that is very important. So, Kimberly has some things here she's going to want to show you. And for some people who don't know, she'll inform you as to like the devices that will be most helpful to you. In the meantime, I want to say hello to Time for Disclosures. Great people over there on that site. Bigfoot Sighters, Pennsylvania Bigfoot Sightings. All Paranormal Pennsylvania, and more. Hello from the 10. This is the part of the click that we all like. Anyway, I'm going to let Kim have this for now. What did you bring with you today?
All right. Well, we have a few things here. I'll start off with this. This is a mount to help you when you record. You will have your camera hooked up to the bottom, and then this is a special light that helps you actually see in the dark. Now, you won't see it projected in front of you, but when you have it on, you'll see a little red illumination coming out of them, and on your camera you'll actually...
So that's like night vision.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you'll be able to see it lit up on your camera. You won't see it in front of you with your own eyes, but that's a good thing to help you. If you don't have a night vision camera, you can get a light for like $80 instead of getting a whole new setup for that.
Well, that's cool. That'll help people to understand that. And what else do you have?
Right here, I have a K2 meter.
K2.
And it's as simple as the press of a button, and you go around trying to find the energy in a room. It can sometimes pick up energy in the walls, like if there's...
Power wires and stuff?
Yeah, there's
I heard about
anything
that.
with nails, anything close to devices, it can spike it, so you always want to make sure you're not close to something else that can set it off, because you want to get a good reading, and it's good to always go through it a couple of times to debunk and make sure you're getting something that's actually accurate.
Well, that's a good explanation for everybody, too, because you may not always need that, and a lot of places that we sometimes go in, all the power's off anyway. And if you do pick up things, it's going to show you a more direct impulse, I guess, of what's going on. If you're in a cemetery or something, there's different energies out there, but you don't have to worry about electrical power sources.
Yeah, so if that spikes up when you're out somewhere that has no power, you're definitely getting something.
Right. So whether you're a sky watcher or whatever, there's something always cool in product lines that will help you get through things. Anyway, I see you got some kind of ball mechanism. What is that?
Yes. So this right here is the SB7 Spirit Box, which most ghost investigators use. It has the antenna on it and everything. This is actually a speaker that connects to it so you can hear it more loud and pronounced and everything. When you do this, it sweeps radio stations, and you can sweep forward and backwards. And sometimes I like to do backwards more, because if you get a voice, a word, or some sort of sentence in it, you wouldn't be picking that up from like a song coming through or something if it does.
Right. So reverse does make sense, because it's not going to repeat something in reverse from music if it's picking it up.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool.
So I love using this. This is always a good way to do something right on the spot, and you see them use this on the big paranormal shows as well. And when I've gone to Gettysburg, this is actually what they recommend as one of the best things for you to use if you're starting up as well.
And I got to throw this in there for everybody. She specializes in Gettysburg. She's been there several times. She knows the place. She knows the town. She knows where the fights were. She'll tell you more on that in a minute. She also carries a really cool, maybe quite expensive or not quite. I don't want to ask you to turn around. I know you're actually streaming right now, and we are too. We're streaming a couple different ways, and Facebook's right there. So everything Facebook, you'll be dead on. The other ones here, I'm going to adjust this camera, so no, got to keep you in it. So anyway, hello to everybody out there checking this out. Really important information. I also want to just say this. Is it paranormal or is it something else? Weekend Disclosures 21 here on the 10. We're looking to gain your trust and to have great conversations and for you to call in, share your stories. That's where it's going to get really interesting. And we will host that. We will do it through messenger service or something, or give you a secure line, or you give us one and we'll keep it secure. And we'll talk about whatever you have to share, because without you, we don't learn more. And the activities and the spots throughout the United States. But we're right here coming out of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and that's where Kimberly's located out of. She has a small group, just to give you a little bit more. What's your group people's name? You have, what's Jordy that helps you, that goes on the investigations? Jordy. Hello, Jordy.
Hey, girl.
Hello, Jordy. And who else?
Well, it's typically just us, but if her fiance can't make it out, Cheyenne will come out. But
And you have Tony.
he comes out sometimes, yeah.
Right, but he always goes to Gettysburg.
Yeah.
So she has a fuller crew, and you also have somebody that's been contacting me that wants to come out with you guys too. Mm-hmm. That's Joey B from North Hills. He's down in Florida right now, but he'll be up soon. So you'll have like a group, if you take him on, you'll have like a group of 5 and a lot of people bringing stuff forth. All right, well, now you know a little bit about what you need. And also, you can use your cell phone. There's ways to do that. And could you have any clues or hints to tell them?
I mean,
for like voice phenomena?
I've used my phone before when I didn't have anything else. Of course, you need to make sure that you're being very quiet in between your questions to make sure if you are picking something up that you can hear it up. If anyone's walking, moving, like you're moving the device or something, you need to say when you're recording, this is me walking, this is me setting it down. And then if you don't want to do it that way, you can always actually get yourself an EVP recorder that you can listen back on as well, and you're able to transfer your files and everything with that. Okay,
now one other question for you, because this will get released different ways. Are you going to upload that to who on your social medias?
Yeah.
All right. What can people, if they miss one, they can go to the other and find you if they don't find this?
So I have a YouTube channel that's actually called Klacic Adventures.
Oh, she has her own clothing line too.
Yes.
Check and support. And I just got mine. I got mine. So I'm sorry I don't have it on today. But I just got it courtesy. I paid for it. By courtesy of her coolness, she was able to order me what I wanted and get it for me. I got one in black. It's nice. It really is. I'm going to suggest to the guys, though, if you call to order something that way, go a size up, and I think you'll be fine. And, you know, a hoodie's not supposed to be snug fit anyway. It's for a comforting fit. So
they're also very warm on the inside, too. Yeah, so especially if you got investigating somewhere or something,
right.
It's nice to have.
Right. So take a look at her page on that, and that would be under...
That is also linked on my YouTube channel, Klacic Adventures. If you look in the description of the videos, I will have the website for the clothing line on there as well.
Check them out. You got to get your jacket. There's more stuff, too, and it will come forward. And when you listen to either 10 O'Clock Talks, who Kim will be co-hosting once a month with me, or go directly to her YouTube channel, you'll be able to find out a lot more information and so forth on the dates that are coming. We'll give you like a little heads up and what the narrative will be, and if there's any other special guests or call-ins that we're going to handle that at that time. But here's where I'm going to split us in half here. Okay? I'm into everything paranormal. And so's Kim. And we actually shared some things that happened when we were together. And we'll get to that. But UFOs, Bigfoot, everything paranormal in ways, ghosts, dark spirits, dark shadows, skinwalkers, all these things, the unknowns of the supernatural, but are they? That's the whole thing. Are they? people have been investigating with many television shows. You have Skinwalker Ranch. Now you have Frog Frog Blind Ranch. Or that was pretty cool though. They are picking up things in the sky, as well as things on the ground. Paranormal in ways that we really don't have answers for. But the government programs are even now, always have been, but even now are getting more involved in ways and are coming out with forms of disclosure. And I think we've had disclosure already happening. And that's from sky things as far as to the unexplained mysteries of dimensional spirits. So we're on many different planes in life and consciousness. And everybody talks about consciousness levels and dimensional fabrics of space and time. So that's what we're trying to connect from our side. Kimberly's going to focus on one side of her narrative while I try to support another side of the narrative and see where they fit. Because a lot of people do talk about Bigfoot as a ghostly dimensional being who can cloak himself, who can disappear in front of your eyes, no different than a spirit or a shadow figure. So I think we're going to have a lot of fun with that. And again, this is going to get uploaded. This is kind of like our first togetherness here. So we're trying to give you a blanket of what's to come. Now, I'm going to let Kimberly talk a little bit about, maybe a little bit about pricing, what it's like up there if you're going to stay overnight and do a tour, where you can eat, what she feels about. I want you to cover everything that you can for some of the young people, and not just young. Anybody who wants to do this but needs the information, and you're getting it right from you because you have revisited this over and over. So why don't you tell a little bit about, hotels, accommodations, how far you suggest they stay, etc.
Okay, well, we've stayed at a handful of different places and all the times that we've gone up there. We haven't been able to actually book to stay in a haunted hotel or home, as you can do up there, just because those are always the first things to get booked up. And when we go up there, we tend to just plan it sort of last minute. So, I mean, no matter where you stay, if it's one of the inns or if it's just like a well-known hotel like Holiday Inn or one of the chain ones, like they're still built on top of haunted land as where the battles were taking place.
We have an alien. I'll handle it.
So a place we typically stay at is the Holiday Inn. That's up there, and that's not too far. It's under a mile and a half, I would say, from the center of Gettysburg. There's so many cool places to stay at up there. Like, no matter where you stay, you're going to have some sort of experience, something going on.
All right, I got to interrupt. I got to ask, did you hear any gunfire at night?
I think there was one time we were actually walking through the Memorial Park. We were on a different side of it, and they have like this big rocky area we were going through doing spirit boxes and stuff, and we got some pretty wild stuff going through there.
Wow. Okay, cool. I also heard you say once that there was a restaurant up there that had like really thick steaks and everything. So, I mean, people, when they go there are really good places to go and eat. It just doesn't have to be all concentrated to like one thing. Yeah. You can enjoy other aspects during the day.
Yeah, so there's a bunch of stuff to do.
Gettysburg's cool.
Yeah, the first time that we went up there, we ate at the Dobbin House. And the Dobbin House was actually, it's still all the original stuff in there from the person that built it back then. And they actually take such good care of the house and revamping it where they turned it into a restaurant, but it's different because you have like the tavern in the basement. One of the rooms that you could be eating in has a bed set up in there because they're just trying to keep the actual element of what the house was, but also invite you in.
It's almost like a theater dinner, huh?
Yeah.
Cool.
But yes, they have really good food there.
Keep that in mind.
If you go down to Farnsworth Inn, you could actually, they have a restaurant attached to it that you can eat at, whether you're staying there or not. That's really good. I mean, you have there, like, they actually dress up in the old time clothing that they would all wear, and that's how they serve you. You have people who walk around the streets doing reenactments, and there's a lot of stuff to do besides the paranormal. Like, they have escape rooms, they have nice little shops, there's all kinds of stuff you can do besides like the haunted tours and going and learning about all the history and stuff that went on up there.
Well, that sounds cool. All right, cool. So now, if you have any interest about getting up to Gettysburg, you have somebody who did it firsthand that's trying to give you the best information that she could give you. And it sounds to me like it's all really good and you can expect a great time with it. But what's better than the great time of the daytime? Is it when the moon comes out bright? I don't know. All right, I got to ask you, classic adventure girl, what is the most incredible thing that you have experienced that made you do this?
So,
Or what kind of things?
are you saying like what led into me wanting to do this, or
That's
something I
what I
experienced
said.
up there?
That's what I said.
Because I'd say I got a story for both of those.
Well, let's do one at a time.
What really made me want to get into the paranormal was just experiences that I had as a kid. I remember always seeing shadows or hearing something go bump in the night, and it freaked me out, but it also intrigued me how I would see these things, and anyone I said it to, they didn't see it. So I'm just like, am I really seeing this? Is this something that's going on? But as I got older and I actually started watching shows about like the paranormal and stuff, I started realizing like I might actually have some sort of sense where I can tap into seeing this stuff more than other people can.
So you're kind of like intuitive, but
Not
sensitive.
Yeah, but not all the way. Like
Yeah.
I can't do anything that like a medium can do or something, but I can like, it's like the feeling when you're facing something and you feel like someone's staring at you from behind. It's like that kind of
The
chill.
heebie-jeebie thing.
Yeah, it's like the chill you feel when someone's watching you, but you turn around and no one's there. That's like, anytime I get that feeling, I'm just sensing that something's here with me if I can't actually see it.
All right, I seen videos with you in them when you were younger with loads of orbs, and I saw you calling them out and them going crazy. Are you gonna post anything like that, or once you really start your platform strong now?
That's a thing. I would like to post it, but I want to grow my audience a little bit more. That way it has better exposure a little bit. It is something that I want to share because I think it's crazy how much things ramp up once I actually get into that space.
Right. All right, so I know that we're supposed to do a place called Indian Rock that's not far from here. So we'll post that, little segments and clip things together. We're not coming to you as some crazy official broadcast thing, okay? That's not what this is. But it's going to say enough about, what goes on in the discussions that opens up more awareness and better understanding of answers. Because everybody's searching for that answer, and not many people get to see that physical manifestation right in front of themselves. Some do, some will never have that. But I understand when you were younger, you did see something, but it wasn't paranormal of a ghostly kind. Can you explain what you saw that night back in 2011 when you were in the field, checking out the stars and whatnot, looking for, UFO crafts, everything paranormal?
Yeah, so I mean, I like stars. I like to look up at them, and you never think that when you're just having a random summer night that you're going to see something strange happen, especially. But yeah, so we were standing in the field, and we're in the very back field of where we were at, and it was crazy because we were just looking up at the sky, pointing out like the constellations and stuff, and out of nowhere, as fast as it was there, it was as fast as it was gone, was we saw this green light. And
was it like a discharge that was like...
it started off as just the green light, but it was like as it went, you could see like a trail behind it. Yeah.
And a lot of people in Pennsylvania through MUFON have reported a trail by UFOs that do that. There are accuracies there. So I think you really did see something that even the government has awareness of. They say it's some type of discharge from the craft. But is it theirs or is it ours? Our technologies are surpass what we ever could imagine. And that goes back many, many years and many, many issues that bring that knowledge forth. General Corso had a lot to say on that, who was actually involved in a lot of retrievals. So, yeah, and for something like that to be seen, if you ever see a light in the sky, and it doesn't mean it's always going to be one color. It could be of orange, of red, of a yellow, I think they describe it as a neonish blue. They will leave like a fabric trail.
And it makes no noise. No sound
Right,
happened either.
Right. And I happened to see something like that myself. So we know that there is a paranormalcy there. So we're trying to just wait for you a bigger circle of experience and share some stories. Now, if you've done this as long as I have on my side and as long as she has, putting this stuff together is going to get us a little bit more answers and a better understanding. Or will we ever get that better understanding? We don't know. But I want to give everybody a heads up on something that I do know. And there's a new show. It just came out. It's been on maybe, I don't know if it's a season or two. And I've been watching it. It's called Expedition Bigfoot. The last 2 episodes. If you have a couple hours to kill, check out the last 2 episodes. Now, today's date here, we're dating this episode March 24th, 21. Go back 2 weeks. Catch the episodes. See what they find. See what they had with their night vision cameras. I mean, you can literally see things. And then the footprints that they have come across. And I know everybody has footprints. No, these guys are really putting the best foot forward, so to speak. Big foot forward. But that is the truth. And I think you're going to find some remarkable things. And still unanswered. But they know much more right now. And keep your mind open to that part of it. So on this opening episode with Klacic Adventures on 10 O'Clock Talks, this is the 10 O'Clock Talks. You're learning, we gave you some informations and general informations on equipment that you can use for the paranormal, everything ghost. The best thing I can tell you about anything else, you will still need these other items while you're out if you're searching Bigfoot. Now, will they help you looking in the sky? Not always. Do you want to go get that most high-powered micro? Yeah, come on. You're going to go buy this. You can't get it to follow. It's too hard. It's good for labelizing or looking at the craters on the moon. Your eyes are going to be your best adversary to do that. And when you least expect it is when you're going to get it. Always keep that in mind. That's the way it's always worked for me. I'm going to give you a little story from my side. I was up my carving camp. It's kind of like a family summer thing all year round, but it was summer. I was outside at the fire pit. It was pitch black. And for several weeks, I kept sharing a story and had a couple people up that are into UFO sightings. And they sat with me and we talked, and we seen strange movements that have, now these were far in the distance high. How high, I don't know. They were up there, but you could see. Everything was seeable. So from that standpoint, did you reset? Mm-hmm. Okay. From that standpoint, I tried to explain to them what I was seeing, what to look for. Now, on your phones, you can figure out satellite coordinates. These were not satellite coordinates, and either were the actions and the movements. Now, they were way in the distance up there. They would come into image, and they would actually disappear. Now, this is in Carn City, Pennsylvania. Kind of on the quadrant where they call the Bigfoot Appalachians, the traveling zone. Now, which had nothing to do with what I was seeing. But we were all experiencing these lights up there that would do this and just make these impossible maneuvers and be there for 1 minute and just disappear for another. And then I started to see discharging, flashing. I'm thinking these are like some kind of lightning bug. I didn't know what I was seeing. I still haven't answered that, but they are very questionable. But as we were into this, the first time, just to reflect back with friends there, I was seeing like a flashing light and I didn't know what to make of it. And I was like, did anybody see that? And someone did. A friend by the name of Deb was there with me. And she says, I thought I saw something, but I'm not sure. And that's the kind of occurrence that always happens. But I have many that have happened. I've been very fortunate, and I don't know why they happened for me in all the supernatural phenomena. But for some reason, they follow me this way, I guess. But to go a little further, it was kind of a dud night, but a lot of movement up there of strange, like, satellites don't move like this. What is it? Is it our Space Force? Could be possible. So anyway, I mean, you don't just open up Space Force and you got to already be up there to do it. To me, it's disclosure. They're just coming out with technologies and it's been hidden and suppressed. Let's jump a couple weeks ahead though. Now I'm up there and I'm hanging out and I'm outside. It's very dark again, same type of thing. And I catch out of the corner of my eye that same type, and I know it. In my head, I'm like, I know this is something. What is this? I run inside. I grab this high-powered new Black & Decker, like a spotlight for hunting, for night visioning, to see where deers are if you're out spotting and so forth. And I thought to myself, I'm going to grab that thing. And I did. And I'm sitting there a while, and again, I see it, but I don't see it. It comes so fast. You don't know what to make of it. Mm-hmm. And I decide, all right, here we go. Click, 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 and I start flashing it. It has like 3 or 4 settings on it. So I'm going through the clicks. And I'm flashing like an SOS kind of like thing up into the sky. I am not expecting anything. Nothing at all. I'm just doing it, trying to still think, what did I just see again? What is that? I'm seeing satellites. I'm seeing non-satellites. A lot of activity. Just jetting through the sky, but nothing close enough down where I could actually put together where I saw something zoom at like 20 to 30,000 miles an hour. I could not ever say that. Just as I'm thinking, I'm nuts. I click it again, and right pretty much above my head, the hugest beacon just flashes. And I see what I've been seeing, but on a much larger scale for the first time ever. I'm not in chills. I'm not in fear. I'm like, this is cool. Click, click, click. Every time I did it, I got an intelligent response. Now, to describe the light to you, it was more of a soft yellow LED. It's the new, like the iridescent bulbs, kind of, so to speak. That's what I was visioning. It happened 3 to 4 times, and I wish I could really remember. No, did I film it? No. And how do you film something in the dead of night that way, unless somebody's away from you catching it all?
Especially as fast as it's happening.
Right. I'm yelling for somebody to come outside and check out what I'm seeing, and, that didn't happen. And in time enough to witness it. But I experienced it, and it blew my mind. And while it blew my mind, it's because it intelligently responded to my activity. It's almost like they were setting me up, wanting me to see what it was. And I really feel up in Karn City, I'm at the highest point of pretty much the mountain up there, off of East 68, if anybody knows where that's about, Brady's Bend area. It's full of activity in weird ways. And I can't wait to, right now with spring breaking, I can't wait to get back up there and start it up again. And I actually, for anybody who's viewing, if you are close enough, if you want to spend a couple evenings with the fire, like join us in the evening or something, we're going to figure out some kind of open format, because I'm telling you, when I say this to you, it happened, it happened. And it would be something for everybody to see and enjoy. It wasn't miraculous, but it was intelligent. And that's what tells me there's something more. But again, where I get lost in all this is what our own government doesn't tell us on that part of the paranormal. Is it them? Is it? Or is it something else? Is it the other them? Are we being visited? We know we have visitors. We know it's through all the religions. And I don't want to get deep into that. This isn't the time to do that with this episode. But that's my share. It was pretty remarkable. I hope you enjoyed it. And it's all true. You had to be there. Best thing I can say. So I would like for you to join us more as we move forth. We'll be putting out episodes. Are you going to name them as episode 1, 2, or are you just going to date them? Do you know what you want to do? When we get together as far as...
Probably just do part 1, part 2, stuff like that.
So right here, we are the 10. This is 10 o'clock talks. This is where we bring Sunday to a different type of element, and it's everything paranormal, or is it something else? Weekend Disclosure 21. And it has to do with the ghost. It has to do with the Bigfoot. It has to do with skinwalkers. It has to do with UFOs. Sightings of all sorts, because everything is a sighting. Everything is a sighting. If you've seen it, it's a sighting. You saw it. So you'll be able to check us out through Facebook, and we'll be doing some promotions through YouTube as well, and Twittering and putting up episodes that you can click on. Now, if anybody wants to look you up besides 10 O'Clock Talks, what is your title that you actually will be posting under? Klacic Adventures?
Yes.
Is it .com or just Klacic Adventures?
No, it's Klacic Adventures right on YouTube.
Well, there you have it. From Pittsburgh! Check us out and join us again. We'll talk and share a story. And if anybody would like to join in, send Kimberly or myself through 10 O'Clock Talks, Michael Anthony, look it up, Facebook, or Klacic Adventures, Kimberly, and we can put you right through the microphone and we can have a conversation. You can share your experience or just, chit-chat it away. So I think we had a pretty good episode. Mm-hmm. Kind of like BuzzFeed without the negativity.
Yeah.
And, hey, we're just going to say, in case you see this, Aaron,
Zach, Dakota, all of them.
Yeah, there's a lot of guys out there. Doesn't this impress you the most when they all run and scream? I've never done that, and I've seen things. I'm not saying I wouldn't, but I think they give themselves the heebie-jeebies when they get out there.
Yeah. I always think it's in the heat of the moment, something scares you. You don't know what to do because you can't see what it is, and it spooks you enough to make you want to run. But as the guy Dave Schrader that we watch, he always says,
"That's Hoosier Files."
Holzer Files. Yeah, go back in there. You're running away, and this is the time they're trying to communicate and give you answers.
Right.
Why run when they're openly willing to respond to you?
Right, and if you go back, even the Dead Files, the young lady that's on there, I can't think of her name off the top.
Amy Allen.
Yeah, Amy Allen. Everything paranormal, as we're discussing, she talks about every element of the same thing when she's out trying to help families in need of getting rid of issues that do exist. And that's why we tell you, be careful what you wish for here. Be cautious. Go with an open mind, but remember, be respectful. Mm-hmm. Not everybody out there is respectful, and that's their gig. That's fine. But anything that we do together or that Kim does and she's going to share with us, we'll always make sure you get the upload episodes. So I guess that's pretty much it. We're nearing our time, I guess, pretty much. You got anything you want to enclose with on the information on some of the gear and so forth?
I think on the gear side we're good, but we can close it out with a good spooky story if you like.
Yeah. One thing I want to say, if you're meant to see it, you're going to see it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why that is, but it is true. And beware of the hoaxes.
Yeah.
Because there are technologies that really can make you believe in a video or a picture that you've seen something when you didn't. So always keep that in mind. But stay open, because the fact is, it could be true. We have to figure out how to eliminate some of those issues. And I'm going to let you take it over with your spooky story and put the mic directly in front of you.
Well, one thing to add on to that, if you are getting pictures or anything, they always say, if you're taking pictures and you're trying to see if something's there, always take at least 2 or 3. Because that way, if something does pop up in the pictures, you can look back at the other one, see if something was there. That way you can debunk, like, if you're actually capturing something or not. It's always good to be able to have a clear mind when you do it. And if there is something there and it's not in anything else, well, you might have just got something without even realizing.
Right.
Because the stuff that you're capturing, you can't see with your own eye most of the time, unless it's like a shadow that you happen to see or an apparition. But like the stuff when you're actually capturing it on night vision and whatnot, like that's beyond what our naked eye can see. So that's a little bit different there.
Yeah, isn't it like, I'm sorry about having the one mic. We weren't really prepared for this, but we finally were able to get together and we just threw it to you. We'll be better set up the next time. I promise on that part. Let me just ask you, what is this story about?
The story, it has to actually do with a tour that I took. It was a conjoined tour that I did in Gettysburg. It was about the orphanage and the Jenny Wade house. It was more along the lines of evidence that I caught while on the tour. The orphanage is very interesting place because people actually live in there now, which I don't know if I'd be too comfortable living in a place with such a dark history like that. And that's because the woman that did run it after the initial woman that opened it up, she loved children. That's why she got into it, because when you have all the men going to war, and if something happens to the mother or whatnot, it's a place where the kids would go. That was the one spot up in that area. But then you had Rosa Carmichael's take over, and she was not fond of children at all. She was more into torture. Like, she wouldn't feed them well. She would actually tie them up to an outhouse outside during the winter. And they did get her charged for assault and all that because these kids were dying under her care. And not only that, there's this area in the basement that's labeled as the pit. And it's a 6x6 brick
Can you
room.
adjust that? Needs tip top.
Yeah, it's about to die, honestly.
It's okay. You got a lot of good footage today.
So,
Okay, that's cool. But just to throw this in there, working with one mic, excuse that part, but I'll talk a little louder. And yes, we do have face masks. Can you get that?
yes. Let's see. Show it on here too.
Yeah. There we go. The 10. We have more coming. And if you follow, you might get something in the mail. Anyway, I want to just say this to you. More highly charged areas always seem to be of the negative precedence on places like that. And there's some type of definite feed that comes from that kind of place. And the activities are so much stronger. Mm-hmm. Do you have any knowledge as to why that is?
I definitely think it has to do with like the treatment and what was going on in their lives when they were alive. Because if you're like struggling with like your connections or anything that's bringing like terrible stress or trauma to your life, like that's something you hold on to. And even when they're passing over, like...
Yeah, but what about residual then? Is that residual haunting?
Well, not really residual, because the residual stuff is usually, it happens when they don't realize that they're dead and they're still living their lives. Like, that's still imprinted in the house.
That would be me. I'm not going nowhere.
But that's the thing, even with residual stuff, if it's not doing anything to harm you, it's nothing to be afraid of, because most of the time they don't realize that they've passed on. Like, they're still living their life. They still think this is their house. They're doing their thing. And you don't need to fight it. You don't need to try and yell at them and cause any harm.
They could be passing through.
Yeah.
Which is weird, but they say that that's so true. So always keep that in mind.
Now, I've seen a lot of cases that are like that, and it's really just acknowledge them. Because when they're acknowledged, they feel like they're more at peace with that. They don't feel like they're just there and you think like them trying to like get your attention is like them like really trying to haunt you. It's like just trying to make their presence known. Like, this is my house. Like, I'm still attached to it. But we can both be here without any problems, you know? As long as you acknowledge them and you're pleasant and you're not trying to cause harm or, like, trying to, like, use it as a profit for money or anything, that's when they rest better and they can actually
So
co-live
some
and
of
stuff.
these shows might have the whole wrong idea then, the televised versions of why people do it.
Sometimes, yeah, because
The form of entertainment they might not really like.
Mm-hmm.
And the communication might be greater with less is better, so to speak. Maybe, I don't know.
Or
Tell
sometimes-
us about this thing. I'm waiting to hear this story.
Oh, yeah. So,
Check them out.
everything with Rosa Carmichael's and with the orphanage, there was a space in the basement, and it was called the Pit. Now, that is a 6x6, like, brick room, sort of. And actually, when you get to do the tour, you get to actually climb in there with your group that you're with and sit in there. And we had 4 people sitting there, and it's cramped. Like, there was actually shackles on the walls in there, and people would leave toys for the kids in there. But her reasoning for having that is when the kids misbehaved or if they stole a piece of bread because they were hungry, that's where she would put them. And there's no lights down there, there's nothing. So they would just sit down there in the pitch black for days, not knowing how long they were going to be there. And once she was actually taken to court and charged for all that, she got on a train and fled. So I thought that was interesting. So I actually do have videos on my
And
own.
what was her name?
Rosa Carmichael's.
All right.
I actually have videos of the pit on my YouTube if you would like to check that out. Besides that, they then took us to the Jenny Wade house, and at the time that I went, I was the same age when Jenny died, let alone when they were describing everything about her. I was the same height and everything, and they had me actually stand with her statue that's out front of the house and take a picture with it. And I just thought it made the experience of that whole thing, like going through the house, seeing the bullet holes, seeing where they had to go all the way upstairs to climb through the wall to take her body down to the basement. Like, it's so elaborate. And they have definitely changed it a little bit from how I saw it on TV years and years ago before I went. But I caught this one really good piece of evidence. Now, I've shown this to other investigators that have been doing this longer than me, trying to get the picture debunked and everything. Because at the time, like, I took multiple pictures to make sure, like, I'm actually capturing something.
That's like me when I caught those daytime orbs.
Yeah.
And when I can get this up, or Kimberly can for me, it's pretty incredible. And this was daytime, brighter than the daylight, in front of your face, orbs, with clarity of face. And you will really be intrigued by this. You really will, as well as some really great night photos of what we can only say is a dimensional presence. So, pretty spectacular stuff. You're going to have to check this out because, not to say that these big groups out there and the well-known names aren't getting good evidence at times. They do. I've never seen nothing like this. It'll be a different precedent of evidence. It most undoubtedly will be. You're going to have to look for that and rejoin us. Now, if you want to just finish your little story for everybody, and we'll go from there.
Yeah. So, it came to the point where everybody went inside for the tour, and me and Tony, we actually stayed outside so I could snap photos all around, because obviously, if you've heard about the Battle of Gettysburg, Jenny Wade was the only civilian that was killed during the battle, and her house was actually smack dab right in the middle of everything. So that is literally right next to where the bodies are buried and everything. And we actually did visit her grave when we were up there. And I'm not going to give it away, but you'll find out if you take the tour up there that they do not have her proper name on her grave. So I feel like that could cause...
That's weird.
That could cause some turmoil in that. But it was interesting because...
Yeah, people don't seem to rest easy. Sorry, but yeah, there's stuff that comes up about things just like that. That there's something wrong and they can't rest until their story
until
is
it's fixed and it's told right. Yeah.
Right.
So with that, I took all these pictures, and it wasn't until I got back to our hotel and I was looking them over that I actually caught a figure in it.
Ooh.
Now, it's nighttime when we did this, and I'm not using my flash. I'm just taking pictures. And if you have gone up to Gettysburg, the Jenny Wade house is next to a hotel. And there's a parking lot that's behind the Jenny Wade house. Now, when we were doing this, like, all the cars are parked. There's nobody out there. Like, it was sound silent at the time because it was almost midnight when we did this. And in the picture, you could actually see, like, walking in the grass field in front of us, there's this apparition, and you can see them in old-time clothing. Like, the more you enhance it and zoom it in, like, it's an old-time dress with, like, a little bonnet thing on, and you can actually see her.
So it's like translucent but visible.
Yeah, like, you could still see the cars and everything that were behind this, but, like, as if I'm looking at you right now, this is how I'm looking when I'm taking the pictures, and when the figure was in the picture, they were looking back like this, like they're looking right at us.
I think I remember that picture. Was she on some kind of lighter color clothing, though?
I think
It was
part
older.
of it was, yeah.
Yeah, okay. I think I remember sharing that. That's why I thought it was really important to get Kim on here. She's had some really incredible experiences, and she wants to learn more, too, just like everybody else. But she has a big jump start on a lot of people, and we can't wait to share more. I'm going to let her finish out and quit interrupting her, though. But, hey, it's like kind of like the buzzer feeders. You know, we have to do a little bit of that. Everything is, you know, in a good way.
Yeah, so, I mean, I just thought that was a really cool piece of evidence. That's probably one of the most credible things I've got. I mean, there's countless investigations that you can do up there.
Yeah, but those orbs were swarming you, were pretty wild.
Yeah.
And on your commands as well. Mm-hmm. That is pretty freaky. Orbs to respawn. And again, here I am messing up her story. But she has a lot of good evidence, and you're going to have to check this out on the 10 or under Klacic Adventures. Remember that. We'll be coming to you on Sundays. We don't know the whole complete schedule yet because her work, what we're going through, the big COVID thing, you know. But we're going to bring you as much as we can through the whole summer. Please finish. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. And one other thing, if you really want something good to do up there, there is a paranormal group up there where you can actually go investigate with. And we've done that about 4 times. And there's one place up there called the Murder House. And it's actually about a murder that takes place, like, I think in like the last 30 years or so. Mm-hmm. But I'm not going to give the details away about it because when you actually go to investigate there, they don't tell you anything about it except for a murder took place. You have to communicate and find out what happened. Now, I went there twice, and the second time I went there, I just thought my evidence was so credible because I was trying to communicate with the female that's in the house, and she only likes communicating with females. Right. Because of her past. And I just thought it was crazy. Like, as I talked to her, the K2 meter went off for 30 solid minutes up until I went upstairs to go do a spirit box. As soon as I went upstairs, it stopped. And then as soon as I came back downstairs, said, "Hey, I'm back. Are you here with me?" And it went back off up until we turned the machine off. Like, we tried turning it off, turning it back on, and it just kept happening.
Again, intelligent. Mm-hmm. Just like I had with the light above me. And that's pretty cool.
Yeah, if you're respectful.
Dig that, huh? If that would happen to you, what would you feel like? Would you have the chills? Would you have like an adrenaline rush? Or would you run out like Zach and Aaron do? I don't know. I'm not getting on you guys. But, you know, in today's world, we have the ability to reach a big margin of people, and we hope that we can do that. We're looking forward to having you join us again. And, you know, we just have to stay open-minded to it all. That's really what it comes down to. But we're getting towards a closure here. They limit us newbies on limited times and uploads and so forth. So I'm going to leave up to Kim as to how we can do that the best way. Because I have another 10 o'clock talks thing that I do. Doesn't have nothing to do with this. This is a personal hobby. And I've been gifted to see some things that are just strange. And I felt, hey, while I'm doing this and I have the time and the equipment to, like, put this out there and create a good vibe on people that have the same interests. That's what we're gonna do, right?
Yeah.
All right, so we're partnering up on this. And I know we got some episodes that are gonna come up where we'll be able to share some things for you, without a doubt. We are the 10, and this is 10 O'Clock Talks, and we thank you for joining in. Like and share, follow. I'll let you have your last word.
Well, if you guys want to see anything, you can check me out at Klacic Adventures on YouTube. If you want to hear anything else about my paranormal stories, I also have my own alternate YouTube channel where you can look me up as Kimberly Klacic. There's a ton more content on there. But Klacic Adventures, we're going to be coming to Hillview Manor. We're going to be investigating some cool places.
I want to get your whole gang here one time.
Yeah, we definitely can do it.
And remember, share your story. Write in. We can talk about it. Maybe we can get you on the phone.
Yeah.
It'll be fine. We'll do it. We'd love to have action like that come through. Right here on the 10 or directly under Kim's YouTube channel, Klacic Adventures. And remember her clothing line. And I did order something. I support small businesses. That's a must. Support somebody's dream. Just like your dream of paranormal and learning and getting more involved. If your house is haunted and you need help, shout. Not everything can be cured. Sometimes you have to live with things. But know that you do have support. And Kimberly will show you support. So from Pittsburgh, this is the 10. This is 10 O'Clock Talks with my co-anchor tonight, Kimberly from Klacic Adventures. Look her up soon. Look her up soon.